Welcome to Coach's Corner, everybody. I'm Lyndon.
I'm Em.
Amy.
And Debbie.
This is Coach's Corner. This is where we help people change their relationship with food and fitness by making sure that we give you all of our experiences, everything that we've done to help you be in a better position in life, and of course, answer some questions along the way. If you like this video, like it, share it, hit the notification button to subscribe. We are here to help you guys. Again, we do this to make sure the people feel good. All right? So we're gonna start from the top. And today, we just came off of a weekend. We did a cookout outside on Sunday. I think it went well, but at the same time, as most things are, they could have been better, right? So our whole goal is to help as many people as possible on a regular, engage in our community more, because we understand the missing component for so many people is community and getting people to get more involved. So community stuff usually looks a certain way, and we want to make sure that that's the way it goes, right? So let's dive into ways to help people, all right? I noticed it's Monday. We had a lot of people miss training today, right? And I honestly think that the weekends are a time where we truly throw away most of the progress we make during a week when it comes to fitness and nutrition. So I would love to talk about ways to help people have better sleep routines, talk about the effects of poor sleep, just get into it. So that's what we're gonna do. Let's go over the top stuff. Poor sleep routines, do they affect your ability to perform in the gym or in life? Yes or no?
100%.
For sure.
All right, great. How so? Do we know any details about that? Things that we want to share with people, maybe our own experiences and how that hurts, because again, most people have no idea. Mm-hmm. All right, let's hear it.
I'll talk about muscle recovery. When you're sleeping and you hit that deep REM cycle, that's when your body takes its time to repair all of the things, rid yourself of toxins and all of that. So if you don't get into that REM for long enough, or maybe you don't hit it at all, you keep waking up throughout the night, don't go to bed with enough time, your body doesn't have a chance to recover from that type of stuff. So you could experience a lot of DOMS, a lot of delayed onset muscle soreness, because you may be eating right, but you may not be getting enough sleep so that your body can use that what you're eating to repair your muscles.
I just heard, can I interject for a second? I just heard this crazy statistic from my acupuncturist about sleep aids. Mm-hmm. The increased mortality rate on those is like almost 500%. People who take, I had to look it up because it's a crazy number, but it's like 4.5 times higher than people not. So you're not getting any of that. You're not getting into deep sleep if you're using a sleep aid. It is getting you to sleep, but it's not getting you to a recovery sleep.
Okay, 500%?
Almost. It's like 4.56
Yeah,
times.
it's like 4 something.
Yeah.
It's up there.
Yeah.
And a lot of it is because I think the average person just doesn't take into consideration, like we live in a space where it's easier to pop a pill than it is to fix a routine. And a lot of people will do that and then think that's what it looks like. So you'll have somebody, they'll have some type of problem, one of them being sleep, and we'll hear, well, I do this in my routine to help me sleep. And usually it's kind of a bad move, because most of the time it's not you're deregulated and you're trying to regulate yourself. It's I'm deregulated and this is helping me to go to sleep, not create a better sleep cycle. So the average person is dealing with that every single day, trying to find better rest. But people don't realize, again, poor sleep can affect your physicality, it can affect your mood, it can affect how you literally think and move through life. So if you got a bad mood, we all know that can affect how you communicate. But really, again, it's just like if your brain doesn't get enough sleep to rest and create rest, it has problems even building new synapses and habits. So let's say you've been working really hard trying to grow a new habit, and you're trying to figure out why. Your sleep actually could be part of the reason why it hasn't just landed. So again, your sleep can be a very big part of what allows you to live a happier and healthier life. We should offer some solutions, right? We can't just talk about problems. So let's offer some solutions on what it's like to to put yourself in a better space. What are some of the things that we do as a team to create better sleep for ourselves? Anything you got?
I'll say for me, I think coming here early in the morning has helped me get to bed earlier. I think being more in accordance to the sun. I used to work overnights and that shit was garbage. Like, I think my cortisol levels were the highest. I had a lot of stress. But yeah, getting up earlier, I get up like right before the sun comes up, and then helps me go to sleep on time, or at least get sleepy on time.
Well, and again, you can attest that to like how we work out here. We do full body training, we do functional training, so having to actually do it well, not just move around. Like, a lot of people move around in these suboptimal patterns and then talk about patterning and then talk about the adjustment of patterning and then say, hey, you know, rest is like, oh, rest doesn't really matter. I'm like, rest is probably the most important part, just because moving better is actually tied to your brain and the connectivity between body and mind, right? So if you can't move well, again, part of it might be that you're just not, your body isn't getting enough rest to help you improve. It isn't just your physicality. So realizing you have to be here at 5 o'clock in the morning versus, let's say 8 o'clock or 7 o'clock, it requires you to be more precise. You don't get to just hang out late at night and then say, I'm gonna show up. It doesn't work that way. You might be able to pull it off once, maybe twice, but if you're talking about doing it consistently for 30 days, there's gonna have to be some fixes, or you'll start doing what we already talked about isn't a real good fix, which is supplementing as a way to get on sleep on time. Again, I try to stick to natural stuff myself when it comes to sleeping. So I will drink before bed, like I'll stop at a certain time as part of my routine. That way I'm not using the bathroom throughout the night, which can mess up your sleep patterns. I will also personally do some type of stretching routine as part of my going to sleep. Anything to help my body relax so my mind feels like it can. Because I do realize that stacking wins can help you feel better. So again, doing something to help the body relax actually helps me be relaxed mentally. So I try to do those two things. What do you two got?
I think nutrition, making sure that I'm eating like throughout the day and that is fueling my body. It's actually items that my body will take and do good things with. Right. Limiting alcohol, I think that's a big one.
Yeah.
I used to drink a lot, so I think anyone who's had a crazy night knows that sleep is kind of trash, and you'll wake up feeling
terrible,
awful. I mean, and the older you get,
the more
the longer that lasts. So definitely limiting alcohol, making sure that I've got good nutrition, staying hydrated, like you said, but not slamming a bunch of water. Like, oh, I didn't get it in, got to drink this half gallon an hour before bed. Good luck.
Yeah, I think in general, a lot of times we'll hear stuff like that. People will say like, well, I got it in anyway, but it just took me till 10 o'clock. And I'm like, so yeah, you didn't rest then, because you definitely used the bathroom for the next 2 to 3 hours. Which means that until 1 o'clock, you weren't sleeping regularly. Considering how most of us, our first couple hours of sleep are the most important, that's gonna mess you up, right? Drinking is probably one of the biggest ones I see, especially in summertime. It is easy to fall into the patterns of doing things from a complacent space. A lot of people are cooking on grills, doing other things. Just yesterday, again, during the cookout, there was a lot of hot dogs, a lot of hamburgers.
Sweets.
But there was a ton of sweets, right? And again, people don't realize how sweets lead into other sweets, but even more important, the food was we were feeding a bunch of people, so the food wasn't the highest quality of food. You could see who's thinking about tomorrow on their plates by what they decide to put in and how often they eat, right? If you see somebody go back 5 times and you're like, okay, again, probably didn't eat well today, probably didn't take care of themselves, probably trying to eat enough to feel satiated, so to speak. And then you could take it a step further and talk about how, again, let's add drinking to that factor. I've never met a person who drinks and tells me they have great sleep. I've met people who drink and go comatose. But I haven't met people who are like, man, I had great sleep last night because I had a drink. It's more like, let's say they don't drink a lot and then they pass out one night, so they think that's cool. Or the other side is, it makes the mind erratic. So you go to sleep quickly, but you can't stay sleeping, which is what I normally see. So yeah, either way. What you got, Em?
I like
Sorry.
making a peaceful space, I guess, before bed. I definitely like take a shower, kind of like cleanse the day. Feels nice getting into bed. Definitely gentle movement practice helps. And then I don't really watch a lot of TV. I try to get off my phone, and I do like podcasts though. So if I need something to kind of quiet my mind, I find that the podcast helps and doesn't involve like staring at a screen.
Blue light.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's adding things to your routine that help your mind relax are absolutely the way to go. It's just, you keep doing it, you make sure that it's the thing that you are very well aware of, and you just keep moving through it. It is the best way to handle yourself, right? Again, blue light is a big one. It definitely affects people's sleep. Some people were raised on blue light, so ironically, there are people out there who sleep better with blue light. But ironically, again, your natural rhythm doesn't want that. It's just one of those things that you've gotten used to, so you're just using it as a sleep aid. Now, again, I'm talking about blue light as you turn on something in your background that you can literally kind of zone out to, not you're turning on your favorite TV show and then trying to go to sleep. It's, maybe it's just a blue screen, which is blank. Or maybe it's my wife likes to play rain sounds for the kids, which means the TV's on, but everything's very low light. So there is some blue in it, but ironically, it's not for that, right? Which makes it a lot easier. And that's what we want. We want to make sure that our patterns make sense. So burnout. We would be remiss if we didn't talk about burnout and, again, how this really does affect overall quality of life. So raise your hand if you've ever been truly burnt out before. All right. I think most people have felt burnt out, but I don't think most people have actually experienced real burnout, right? What is the definition of burnout? Do we know?
Deb's looking it up.
Yeah, I think people have been tired, but have you experienced true burnout is the question, right? I think most people associate burnout with work.
That's what the first one that came up was occupational burnout.
Yeah, because that's what most people will say, like, is burnout, like, I'm not doing good at work, I'm so burnt out. That's not really burnout. Let's say it's a low form of burnout. Again, can it be? Yes, but it's just like when people tell me in fitness they train hard, and then they come in here and they're like, oh, we don't do that. And I'm like, yeah, do you really train hard? Do you know what you're capable of? Can you look at the things? It's like being, there's a word I'm looking for. I've heard it said a couple times, overtraining. A lot of people like to use the term overtraining because they came in 2 times instead of 1. And that's not overtraining. Overtraining is literally pushing your body to a point where your physical immune system goes low, right? Like you actually can get sick from doing too much. So a lot of people just don't know physically and mentally what they're capable of because they've never tried to push it. I think burnout has become too commonplace as a word, which is why we're so quick to use it even though we don't understand the depths of it. So I'm thinking of being so exhausted physically and mentally that it affects everything that you do, right? And that goes from the top where we're trying to, let's say, one of the things that comes to mind for me is my mood is bad, right? Because I'm tired, because I'm aggressive. This happens a lot to me just because I have my kids, and again, it's been very hot, so sleep regulation is hard during this time, right? So let's say 4 to 6 hours. If I get 4 hours of sleep, I feel great just because of how hard it has been to get a solid 4 hours of sleep in my home. So that is a sign of becoming burnt out, but to me, that's just the beginning of it, not necessarily the depths of it. So what other signals can you receive in burnout that maybe you guys have experienced, because everyone said they have experienced it. So what would you share is a sign of burnout?
Well, for me, it's achy muscles to the point where like you can't move them almost.
Lack of recovery.
Yeah, what do you call it when you can't like actually move your joints?
Joints or muscles?
It feels like the joints. I mean, it is the muscles, but it feels like I've got like stiffness in the joints to the point where.
Sounds like you have swelling, that won't go down, which is part of the repair process.
Fair.
And yeah, that works.
Let's say inability to be
Recover.
regulated. I mean, emotionally, physically, right? I mean, that can look like in a woman, not having a menstrual cycle can go away. Inability to have any form of conflict without an emotional breakdown, right? Going
Right.
hysterical. I think that's where I've had periods in my life where my menstrual cycle stopped. I was unable to have any form of conflict, stress, anything like that without extreme emotional
Response.
meltdowns, if you will, like a kid, hysteric.
That's hard, and that's hard on everybody around you, and it's
For sure.
warranted. Like it's not that you're, a lot of people they kind of demonize it, right? Like I hear that a lot. It's like, oh, you can't have meltdowns. It's like, well, maybe that's a sign of something, right? It's not a sign of somebody having something. I do think their responses matter, but for the most part, again, fixing your routine can actually help you with your your attitude, right? It's hard to fix a routine. It's not easy, but it's worth it. Anything else? Everyone has gone except for you and me. What you got?
I was thinking the same thing, just trouble staying regulated. That tells me that I'm burnt.
Yeah, one of my favorite things, it's controversial, is cynicism, right? A lot of times people will talk about being cynical, but really you're just an asshole, right? I'm not even saying that lightly. You're really just rude because you think you can be rude or you think that shit is cool. But ironically, that's not okay. I have said this in here because, again, we are leaders and things of that nature. I say, what you think it is, you may be so far off base that you need humility to even see where it actually is going to land. A lot of the times people will say things and they think it goes a specific way and it turns into a problem because of the thing that you said or didn't say. And I see cynicism as our way of kind of escaping that responsibility, right? A lot of people will say something, they'll be like, I was just joking. That's a shitty phrase to say a terrible thing to a person who maybe is trying to connect with you, maybe is trying to believe in themselves. So it's a bad space. So cynicism in and of itself, I used to use cynicism and blanket it with, like when someone would call me out, I would say something cynical. Or I would do something cynical because I was feeling uncomfortable, and then that was supposed to become how I communicate with people. Ironically, it's not how it works. If you choose to communicate people from cynical space, you usually lose those people, as a lot of people can't put up with that. So if you're feeling that, again, revisiting your routines might be the way to go. Try getting anywhere between 6 to 8 hours. That's the ideal place. But studies have found that 4, especially if you allow yourself to fall into a deeper sleep, can be sufficient. So I'm very meticulous about that in my home. Again, the reason why cynicism doesn't work, let's say in my home, let's say I make a joke about how LJ needs a better sleep routine, but he really needs a routine. I say something rude, right? Now the communication usually stops. We don't get to have that conversation about what's necessary for the child. On top of that, it just blocks our ability to communicate overall. So I say cynicism and humility can't live in the same space for long together. So a lot of the times people will, again, you've learned cynicism, it's become a tool that you have, but ironically it's just your fear acting out and lashing out at others. I have seen it from pretty much everyone in our group, right? And the hardest part for me as a leader is not responding to cynicism in a way that is just destructive, right? So a lot of times I talk about this. You guys don't understand what it takes for leadership to be there for you when you're not in a good space. But if you have anybody in your life who is putting up with your mess, it's a good time to stop using cynicism in your toolbox, right? Try fixing your patterns, try working with them, try finding a better way to communicate. It's absolutely necessary, okay? So if you are being respectfully a bit of a jerk, then what you're probably really experiencing is your need to get better rest. Yes? I think the last thing we wanted to cover, which takes us over a little bit, was circadian rhythms a little. All right, so we'll cover it very basically. We just talked about it a little bit before we hopped on. Circadian rhythms are your ability to wake up on a regular basis between a 24-hour window where you're asleep, where you're not asleep. It can inform how you're living and how you should live, right? But that's a very complex problem, right? There's a lot of people who absolutely need to take naps in the middle of the day, and it's because your circadian rhythm is off, right? You should be able to, as a human, stay up 16 hours and sleep the other 8. Now, again, I know that's ideal, so I'm not saying everyone has that, but if we're talking about being better together, that's part of it, right? Sometimes you will go through phases of your life where you only get that 4. You have to take naps. That's absolutely fine. But if you cannot fall asleep when the sun starts to set or at a specific time via when the sun used to set and not wake up at the same time that the sun usually comes up, then your circadian rhythm is off. For example, today I think the sun was out at like 4 o'clock, right? I want to say like 4:15, 4:30. It was up pretty early. And most people are just knocked out. Outside so quiet, right? Because everyone's still on the last season. So having a good circadian rhythm is like being able to wake up. Again, this is hard because if you look at the other side, that means you got to go to sleep at like 7, 8 o'clock, and that's not easy. So again, getting sleep in an appropriate space, creating rest in that space can work wonders. You don't necessarily need to be asleep, but your mind and body should be doing things to relax. So if you can't sleep the whole 4 hours, try yoga, try meditation practices. I do a lot of prayer personally during the evening hours or time to myself in order to be there for other people. And again, your family and people around you may not respect that when you start. So it may be important for you to take that time in spite of how it makes others feel. So again, adjusting your routines affects everybody around you. Make sure you do it. Make sure you do it from a healthy space. And again, reach out if you need help. That's exactly what we're here for. All right. So thank you so much for tuning in today. If you'd like to check us out or join our community, you can join us by checking us out at www.gettingitdaily.com. Our entire class schedule is on there, as well as ways to reach out to us. But you can also find us on social media. We're on Facebook and Instagram under the name Getting It Daily. All right. Thank you so much for joining us today. Until next time, this is Lyndon.
Amy.
And Debbie.
And we're signing off. Peace.